My name is Brendon. I'm a scientist at Plant and Food Research, studying the amount of nitrate that can leach from grazing production systems. In recent years I've been particularly interested in how catch crops can be used to mitigate leaching after intensive winter grazing. When I talk about catch crops, I'm really talking about short rotation crops that can be established in between two main crops or as part of a pastoral renewal program. And catch crops are typically species that are good at establishing during that winter time and mopping up nitrogen to reduce the amount of leaching that occurs. I guess one of the issues with intensive winter grazing is around the fact that we've got high yielding crops and a high stocking density. The issue with intensive winter grazing is the fact that the land is left bare for about 5 months. That's because we're talking about annual crops that are grazed by large numbers of animals, and the urine that is returned during that grazing causes quite a lot of nitrogen to leach into groundwater. So we've been able to show through a number of programs that catch crops can reduce the amount of nitrate that leaches to groundwater. We've seen in a number of trials that leaching can be reduced in urine patches by up to about 60%, and they can also reduce the sediment that runs off after intensive winter grazing by about 40%. One of the key things we've found is that the sooner the crops are established after grazing, the better or the more environmentally effective they are, and it means that they also produce more biomass for the farmer. So when it comes to species selection for catch crops, we've found that winter activity is particularly important for maximising the environmental benefit. The cereals can make very good catch crops, particularly oats, and even Italian ryegrasses can make good catch crops. One of the interesting things is that we've found that oats can emerge and establish under particularly cold conditions, so if the soil temperatures are 2 degrees or above, then we can potentially get a good catch crop at establishing. So catch crops make a very good environmental tool, but they can also provide returns to the farmer, and there's a number of ways that catch crops can be used by farmers. So they could be grazed or incorporated into the soil to then supply nitrogen to the next crop. In our research we've been taking a lot of these catch crops through to green chop silage, which is at the start of the reproductive stage of the catch crop, and we can see yields of up to 12 tonne of dry matter per hectare. But they can also be taken through to whole crop or even grain, so there's really a number of ways that catch crops can be used. In the research program that we're involved with at the moment, there's 4 work streams, and one of those work streams is around farmer engagement, and that is led by Anna Taylor, and that's really about bringing farmers along for the ride.
So my involvement in the catch crop project is around farmer engagement. Because farmers have been increasingly using social media platforms, we decided to jump in feet first and include these social media platforms in our objectives right from the get-go. So we started off using WhatsApp, and this group was centred around the researchers involved in the project and also the farmers who were participating in the trial by having the catch crop trials on their properties. And then we spread this out to their farming community around them and also any other farmers who were interested in catch crops. So the WhatsApp group is used for us to post photos of the trials as they're happening, keeping them updated with how it's going, and it's also used by farmers to post from their own farms what they're planting and asking questions of the researchers and of each other. So we're also utilising Facebook by having a public Facebook page where we're updating the videos and photos of what's happening on the trials and taking everybody along on the journey with us. So the use of social media in research projects is a bit of a new game for us. As researchers and scientists, we like to do our trials, get our result, create a report, and then send that out with information. Using social media means that we have to do that as it happens, real time, live, and it's a little bit scary for us. But we've found the benefits of having that engagement have been really amazing. Not only are we getting farmers involved in the process in the hopes that there will be some uptake of the research, but we are also learning and getting feedback as it happens so that we can direct the research going forward. We as researchers often make assumptions about what the risks and barriers are for uptake of our research. So we wanted to ground truth these beliefs by doing a survey with farmers around the use of catch crops. From the survey, we also wanted to identify any knowledge gaps that exist for farmers around planting catch crops, and whether we could drive the research from our catch crops project to fill these gaps to encourage farmers to use catch crops in their system.